Good evening, friends. This video I'm capturing on one of the important topic for our understanding that because of COVID-19 it is quite difficult for all the taxpayer and tax consultant pan India to file GSTR 9, 9C, GSTR 1, GSTR 3B by due date. Now, we always look for due date, and that's what we expect as a relief measure to be extended. Now, if due date get extended, like for recently GSTR 9 and 9C for financial year 2018-19, now it got extended to 31st December 2020 from 31st October 2020. Of course, it is a relief measure, but it has got certain bearing, certain implications. Listen my thought process, what we should demand from the government. Whether we should demand extension in due date or we should demand waiver of late fees. If we are demanding from the government extension of due date, then it has implication. For financial year 2018-19, now due date would be 31st December 2020. So almost 1 year got extended. Original due date was 31st December 2019. Now it would be 31st December 2020. I'm highlighting here three important provision of GST Act which is creating implication and which must create implication in the mind of taxpayer. First, under Section 73, which is non-fraud cases, Section 74, which is fraud cases, an order can be issued within 3 years if it is non-fraud cases under Section 73. Within 5 years in case it is fraud cases under Section 74 of CGST Act from the due date of filing annual return of that relevant financial year, meaning thereby the government authority get their due date extended. So an order can be passed under Section 73, which is non-fraud case, 74, which is fraud case. It is 3 years or 5 years now get extended this 1 year for which we got due date extended. So meaning thereby this time period gets extended for issuance of order by the authority and the corresponding provision pertaining to issuance of so-called notice. It is at least 3 months from the due date of passing order for non-fraud cases and 6 months from due date of passing order under Section 74. That also get automatically extended because due date for filing annual return has got extended. Even period for retention of books of accounts. Every registered person must maintain and retain their books of accounts for minimum 72 months from the due date of filing annual return of that particular financial year. So once due date get extended, correspondingly this provision also gets extended. It has got implication. Department can use this time period for issuance of so-called notice and the order 1 year, which you find as a relief measure for filing GSTR 9 and 9C for financial year 2018-19 has got corresponding effect of extension of time period for issuance of so-called notice and order under Section 73 non-fraud cases, Section 74 fraud cases. This is the implication coming out. What we should demand, instead of demanding due date extension, what we should demand. There is one specific provision, Section 128 of CGST Act, which say government can issue notification for waiver of penalty or late fees, either fully or partly, for specified class of taxpayers, or in such mitigating circumstances when penalty levied under section 122, 123, 125 of CGST Act, and late fees which is levied under section 47, and late fees for GSTR 1 under section 37, under section 38 GSTR 2, which is not applicable as on date, but GSTR 1 is applicable, GSTR 3B under section 39, and final return under section 45. And what are the late fees under section 47? 100 rupees per day, subject to maximum of 5,000 rupees from CGST Act perspective. So 100 rupees from CGST Act, 100 rupees from SGST Act, totaling together subject to maximum of 10,000 rupees. This is late fees for delayed filing in GSTR 1 under section 37, GSTR 3B under section 39, final return under section 45. Even for the annual return for delay in filing, 100 rupees per day, subject to maximum of quarter percentage of turnover of that particular state. Subject to maximum of quarter percent of turnover of that particular state for which GSTR 9 and 9C is being filed under section 44. Now, this late fees which is levied under section 47 can also be waived either partly or fully. Under section 128, government can notify either for specified class of taxpayer or under such mitigating circumstances where government feel it is important to waive late fees. So what we should demand? We should demand waiver of late fees instead of demanding extension of due date. And why waiver of late fees? Whether possible within the law? Yes, possible. You have seen during COVID-19 time period for filing of GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, government has waived the late fees or put the capping on late fees when we look at notification number 32, 33, 52 of 2020, where late fees was either waived off or there was capping on the late fees, but due date was not extended, only it is being prescribed. If you file GSTR 1 and 3B by so and so specified date, then there would be waiver of late fees, and thereafter normal late fee is going to be levied. What is the help? What is the advantage? What advantage you draw as a taxpayer and tax consultant? By getting waiver of late fees, first of all, your due date for filing annual return or reconciliation statement, GSTR 9C, does not get extended. Your late fees got waived. If it is not extended, then the power to issue so-called notice, an order, and retention of books of accounts, which I said just a while ago, limited and restricted to the original time period. So for financial year 2018-19, GSTR 9 and 9C originally was due on 31st December 2019, but because of extension now it is 31st December 2020. So 1 year extra time period is being given in the hands of government authority for issuance of so-called notice and order under section 73 non-fraud cases, under section 74 fraud cases, and under section 36 for retention of books of accounts. And there are other sections as well. I'm only highlighting and highlighted in this video. Instead of demanding extension in due date, we must demand waiver of late fees with the specified date. So had it been waiver of late fees with due date specified now 31st December, then the original position of period specified under section 73 and 74 would be intact. So they will not be getting that extended time period of 1 year. This is my suggestion. Since I'm discussing this particular issue, one more point I would like to highlight here, that for GSTR 9 and 9C for financial year 2018-19, it is optional for a taxpayer whose aggregate turnover is less than 2 crore. It is applicable for 18-19 and 19-20 as well. My suggestion, you must file GSTR 9 in case there is mistake in reporting the numbers in GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. If your turnover is in between 2 crore to 5 crore, then no GST audit, no reconciliation statement GSTR 9C duly audited by chartered accountant or cost accountant for financial year 2018-19 and now applicable for financial year 2019-20 as well. So if your turnover is in between 2 crore to 5 crore, only GSTR 9 compulsory, no GSTR 9C. If aggregate turnover is more than 5 crore in relevant financial year 2018-19, now also applicable for financial year 2019-20, then GSTR 9 and 9C, both is compulsory for taxpayer having aggregate turnover more than 5 crore. As a summary, we should demand waiver of late fees citing section 128 where mitigating circumstances exist and government must notify waiver of late fees as they have done for GSTR 1 and 3B by notification number 32, 33, 52. We have seen that, and that will save us with the extended time period given in the hands of government authority for issuance of so-called notice and order under section 73, 74, retention of books of account under section 36. There are other provisions as well. Now for 1920, GSTR 9 and 9C, original due date is 31st December 2020. For sure, due date going to be extended. What should be our proposal? Pan-India, from different chamber of commerce, from professional bodies, our suggestion and our demand would be kindly waive the late fees for the time period extended by a specified date. Do not extend the due date. By extending due date, we are giving power in the hands of authority, extended time period for issuance of so-called notice, order, retention of books of accounts. Hope you got my point, which we need to understand, and accordingly we must present whenever we are sending tweet, sending representation, writing a letter. Say there is mitigating circumstances. Late fees should be waived off by so and so date. So they will not get extended time period in their hands for dealing with 73, 74, 36, etc. Hope you have liked this video. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.